My name is Dr. Austin Tay, and you are listening to Psych Chat. Hi there, this is Dr. Austin Tay, and welcome to episode 30 of Psych Chat. I've recently come across the term neurodivergent. I had no idea what it was, but was very curious and started reading up on this particular term. Presently, I'm reading a book titled Neurodiversity at Work, written by Theo Smith and Amanda Kirby. Reading this book, I am slowly beginning to understand some of my behaviors. If you're wondering whether I am jumping on the bandwagon on the latest fad, I just want to make a disclaimer. I was diagnosed as dyslexic. So, I guess I have a reason to dwell on neurodivergence, since dyslexia is within the umbrella of this classification. But what exactly is neurodiversity? A simple definition of what neurodiversity is described as the diverse neurocognitive function of our brains. Neurodivergent, on the other hand, describes when an individual diverges from the normal neurocognitive function. Reading more about neurodivergence provides me with an understanding of my behavior. That is all I'm doing. I will not be advocating or starting a campaign about the inclusion of neurodivergent individuals. However, as an organizational psychologist, I can see why organizations should consider a fair way to assess neurodivergent folks in the spirit of inclusion. I had always known that I was different when I was growing up. I was, and still am, broody. I often rationalize things in my head and sometimes conclude that perhaps I am just a bit quirky and different. I see most things differently from people. I see and feel a profound interpretation of perhaps an avant-garde piece of art compared to most who might consider that art piece nonsensical. I tend to put myself in the artist's shoes and look intently at the art piece to see and pick up obscure things like colors or something insignificant, to others, but it could be something else. I have never really been able to pinpoint why I am like that. I attribute that being arrogance, and I believe in what I see. Now, this is not a form of grandeur or me displaying a Dunning-Kruger phenomenon. I am convinced that these are my interpretations, and I'm okay with that. However, I can see that it does not thrill others when I am somewhat quirky. I speak my mind and often say I do not care what people think. I've been told that sometimes I can be curt and lack pleasantness in my response. You can say I am callous, and it is human to slip. The more I think about this and look back at some of the things I have written, I see why people think I am am obnoxious in my response, even when I know that it was never my intention to portray myself this way. I have found a way to navigate my learning difficulties as a dyslexic person. I look back at my journey and my successes, which were not easy. I want to share, though, that if you are someone who is neurodivergent, there are many more like you. While your journey will be challenging, you will find ways to navigate that because we are just that special for being who we are. I want to provide a caveat here. With the world very divided now, with everyone wanting to have a say in what is right and wrong, I do not want to present my dyslexia as something that requires special privilege. My intention to share my experience and make those like me who fall under the spectrum of neurodivergence feel that they are not alone. I enjoy the discourse concerning neurodivergence. So if someone asks me what it means for me as a dyslexic person, especially in the workplace context, I am very happy to share my struggles and how I have used my strategies to overcome my learning difficulties. I do not require pity or people being overly precious about me. I want to let others know that I am just unique or simply quirky. I will welcome it when an organization changes its practices and accommodates people who might need support as they try to combine their uniqueness to a commonly accepted work environment. Research published in the Open Journal of Social Science 2017 found that employees who have dyslexia and have learning difficulties, when provided with support from the organization they work for, have an improvement in self-awareness, work performance, increased self-confidence, more control in their work tasks, and their career well-being. As I mentioned earlier, I only recently chanced upon the term neurodivergence. I do not claim as an expert, but rather as a person who happens to be categorized under this term. So, to reiterate, my choosing to talk about this topic, I reckon, selfishly, is to feel it is alright to be dyslexic. Nothing more than that. While I appreciate that labeling will be inevitable, I do not want to be pigeonholed because of my learning difficulties. Of course, awareness can be created only through open discussion about neurodivergence. So, it is in fact a conundrum. What then? I believe the choice is yours for many who identify or have yet to discover being neurodivergent. How you want to address and broach the subject is really up to you. For me at least, talking about it is a form of acceptance. You have been listening to Site Chat. This podcast is brought to you by Omnisci Consulting. We are a team of psychologists with a wealth of experience in working with individuals, teams, and organizations in the areas of coaching, executive selection, assessment and development, career transitioning, and workplace intervention. Omnisci Consulting exists to solve the critical issues facing our clients, both large and small. Our approach is to tailor-make each service to meet the requirements of our clients. Our broad range of services and solutions help individuals and organizations to facilitate change, achieve their vision, and optimize performance and productivity. For more information about our services, do check us out at www.omnisci.com.